Blackburn's on, good sinker.
Ellsbury stands in, and we're underway, and there's strike one.
On a good sinker right there. Ellsbury on a current 20-game hitting streak. The longest hitting streak in the American League so far this year.
Jeff Zimmerman had a 30-game streak in the National League, just outside 1-1. Ellsbury with a couple of hits last night. Red Sox got balanced production throughout their lineup, took an early lead and never looked back, even though the Twins got back to within a run by game's end. Up the middle, and there's a 21-game hitting streak for Ellsbury.
Well, a career high 21-game hitting streak, and these are the two guys you have to keep off the bases. And Blackburn went back to that sinker down and away, and Ellsbury, good piece of hitting right back up the middle. It's Ellsbury and Pedroia. If you can keep these guys off the bases for the middle part of their lineup, you're doing something. But it didn't work last night, and right there, Ellsbury with a base hit.
Here's Pedroia.
Pedroia 3 hits in last night's ball game, currently on an 8-game hitting streak, where he's 13 for his last 30, a .433 batting average.
Ellsbury tried to steal last night, was picked off by Liriano. Blackburn typically tough to steal against because he's so quick to the plate. Bounced foul, 2 strikes. Three successful steals against Blackburn in 5 tries. 2 of those successful steals came in his first start of the year.
Well, you see the .337 batting average, currently 8th in the American League in hitting.
Lifted foul and out of play. 2 things at work here, Bert. Blackburn is quick to the plate. Last year teams hardly ran on him, but again in most of those games he had Joe Mauer behind the plate, and with all the talk about what Mauer has meant to this Twins lineup, fact of the matter is teams have been less apt to steal with him behind the plate than they were in his absence in April.
Well, as long as the pitcher has that opportunity to slow Ellsbury down, make a couple throw-overs like Blackburn did right there, make him stop, don't let him take that walking lead, it'll give Joe Mauer an opportunity to maybe throw him out. Steve Little right there, the bench coach, going through a set of signs relayed to Joe Mauer. And Steve Little is picking up the third base coach of the Boston Red Sox, seeing if he can pick up their signs.
Outside, and it's 1-2. DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach for the Red Sox.
See, he goes through a set of signs right there. A lot of clubs use an indicator. Maybe first place they touch, like across the Twins, the next sign would be what it is, hit and run, steal, whatever. And Ellsbury looked like he was leaning a little bit right there, able to get back. Carl Crawford leading the American League in stolen bases, then Sean Figgins, and then Ellsbury with 18. Crawford with 29 stolen bases.
One and 2 to Pedroia. Half swing, strike 3. And Pedroia grimaced as he tried to check his swing. No way, but from up here, it looked like Pedroia clearly went through the hitting zone.
A great sinker inside for a strikeout.
Twins in the field. Delman Young in left, and Art Span back in the lineup in center. Michael Kadire in right. Brendan Harris getting the start at third. We'll update you on Joe Creedy a little later on. Punto and Tolbert up the middle. Morneau at first. Mauer behind the plate. There's Joe Creedy. Had x-rays on his injured hand, hit by a pitch the other night. And as up, there goes the runner. And Mauer's throw hits the runner. Jacoby Ellsbury hit by the throw, and I'm not sure where it got him. He's in at second with a stolen base. He might have gotten hit in the wrist.
He got a great jump right there off of Blackburn. Mauer trying to hurry his throw. It has a little tail on it and tails right into the sliding Ellsbury. Watch this ball move right there, Nick Punto, and looked like it got him on the hand right there, and then ricocheted and got a piece of Nick Punto.
Right on top of the left forearm, it looked like.
Ellsbury getting a stolen base, his 19th of the year.
One strike, the call to Drew, and now 1-1. Anyway, for Joe Crede, he had x-rays taken of the injured hand, and as of an hour and a half ago, no word was given yet as to what the x-ray showed.
Yeah, the right hand is what has bothered Joe Crede. He got hit.
Which, of course, is his throwing hand. Needs both hands to hit, but one hand to throw.
We got to keep an eye on Ellsbury, too, because he's very quick. Nick Punto's responsibility right behind him to try to keep him close to second.
1-1 to Drew. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Blackburn last year 193 in a third innings pitch. That led the staff in innings pitched. 11 wins, 11 losses. Looking for his fourth win here tonight.
Two and two. Typically, of course, David Ortiz would hit here, but it's been a season-long struggle for Ortiz. And Drew's numbers not all that great, but Ortiz now hitting sixth in this Boston lineup in the hopes that that'll help him break out of it. 2-2. Just off the corner, and it's a full count. A little bit low, perhaps. Tough take for J.D. Drew. Youkilis on deck.
Was either one of those that he couldn't hit it, or just has a very good eye at the plate.
Lifted foul and out of play.
Again, Blackburn not a strikeout pitcher. He struck out Pedroia, but throughout the season so far, Blackburn's averaged 2.7 walks per 9 innings and averaging about 4 strikeouts per 9 innings. Making his second career start here against Boston. He beat Tim Wakefield and the Red Sox last year here in May.
Just off the inside corner, and Drew fills first base. First and second, one out for Kevin Youkilis.
Numbers on Blackburn: 3 wins, 2 losses on the year. A very good 3.83 ERA, making his 10th start. He leads the club in innings pitched with 17 walks and 25 strikeouts in 56 in the third innings pitched. And he's allowed only 4 home runs. He's been very stingy with home runs allowed.
One of the top hitters in the league, Kevin Youkilis. Recently off the disabled list, comes up in a key spot here in the first inning with a couple of men aboard and 1 out. And a breaking ball over for a strike. Two hits for Youkilis.
Got a couple doubles in last night's ball game.
So far this year, Blackburn has not been as adept at getting ground ball double plays. Just 3 on the year.
Yeah, last year just behind Mark Burley and getting the most double plays. 31 last year. Burley had 34.
And Youkilis takes another breaking ball. 1-1.
A lot of bouncing at the plate for Youkilis with that hand going up the barrel of the bat. Standing pretty much on top of home plate in the back of the batter's box to near Joe Mauer.
And now 1-2. Youkilis had a pulled oblique muscle, put him on the shelf for a while. Youkilis wiping the perspiration off his helmet. It's just the first inning. We're just underway. Hasn't played in the field yet, and he's sopping wet.
We see how far he is in the back of that box. All on Matt Lawton.
1-2. Got him. Second strikeout for Blackburn in this first inning.
Well, he went to the breaking ball there, and Youkilis ends up swinging through it. So Blackburn 2 strikeouts here in the first inning.
And now Jason Bay. This will be the 20th pitch of the first inning for Blackburn. Down the middle, a strike. If there were a team MVP for the Red Sox so far this year, it might be Jason Bay. 13 home runs, 47 runs batted in. And it seems like they've all been meaningful. He has been, in the absence of David Ortiz, Boston's top clutch hitter.
He's been a nice fill-in for Manny Ramirez. Very nice fill-in. Kind of under the radar when his career was with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but now having an opportunity to shine here with the Boston Red Sox.
2 strikes with Blackburn trying to wriggle out of a first inning jam. High fly, center field. Span back to end the inning. A single, a stolen base, and a walk, but no damage done.
His 3rd career start like Blackburn. This one against the Twins. He's been very inconsistent. He's had 9 starts. 5 of those 9 starts he's given up 5 earned runs or more. And he especially has struggled on the road where he has an ERA at almost 7 in 4 starts. A 1-2 record, a 6.93 ERA on the road.
Denard Span takes up an in ball 1. The Twins are blessed to have 2 everyday players who happen to be left-handed hitters who have punished left-handed pitching. Morneau is one of them. He's 4th in the league against lefties. Denard Span another. He's hitting .380 against left-handed pitching. And he takes a strike, 1-1. Back in the lineup tonight after a mysterious bout of dizziness. And Denard feeling better certainly than he did Sunday night. Out of the lineup yesterday afternoon, back in there tonight.
Yeah, that dizziness affected his equilibrium a little bit, so he's built a little oozy.
Carlos Gomez starting in center field yesterday, starts the game on the bench tonight. 1-2 to Span.
Lester strikeout pitch, that hard slider.
And Span, as if he were waiting for it, hooked it foul.
Right, he left it up right there, and Span got good wood on it, but hooked it foul. Lester, 25 years old, in his 4th season with Boston. See the breaking ball right there. That ball left middle in. And Denard, quick bat right there, just hooks it foul.
One and two. Outside, 2-2.
Well, Lester, a strikeout pitcher coming into this ball game, 5th in the American League in that department in strikeouts with 58 in 53 1/3 innings pitched. He's averaged about 3 walks per 9 innings and almost 10 strikeouts per 9.
Missing inside, and Span has worked the count full. And that's a great plate appearance for Denard Span. Fell behind 1-2, and that'll bring Mauer to the plate, who talked about this incredible streak he's been on.
I don't know. I feel good. I don't think much has changed, really. I haven't changed anything with my swing or my approach or anything like that. I think it's just maybe another year in the league and, understanding what pitchers are trying to do with me. So, but yeah, it's a little surprised that the ball's flying a little bit more over the fence, but I was able to put together some good at-bats and just hoping to keep doing that.
You can make the case, I think. He's had 100 plate appearances this year. And he takes a strike. The numbers, incredible. Hitting .444, 5 doubles, 11 home runs, 16 walks. So you add all that together, he has 74 total bases. Plus he's reached base 17 other times in 100 plate appearances. That's 91 total bases plus successful plate appearances out of 100. Slapped foul, 2 strikes. And extending it where Mauer is on the Chrysler Key Stat in very select company. I think you can make the case, Bert, that with the tip of the cap to Harmon Killebrew, Kirby Puckett, Rod Carew, it's been the most productive or destructive 100 plate appearances in Twins history.
Yeah, what a month he has had. Unbelievable month. And if you're a Twins fan, 4 more months after this. Stay with it, Joe Mauer.
Fastball away, and now it's 1-2. 100 plate appearances, and to qualify for league leadership in a batting race, he would need 143. So he's got some making up to do for his April absence.
Well, he's won 2 American League batting titles already, back in 2006 when he hit .347, and last year hitting .328.
1-2 to Mauer. Sliced foul into the left field corner.
Now, he has not faced John Lester a lot, just 7 at-bats. He does have a couple hits.
It's another way of putting the information forward in a different way with numbers. On base 53% of the time, slugging .914. And he's nearly doubled the league OPS. Another 1-2 coming to Mauer. Breaking Breaking ball wide, and it's 2-2. And it starts, of course, a great swing, but just a very discerning eye at the plate and not expanding the strike zone even with 2 strikes. Just off the outside corner. How do you take that pitch? Similar to the pitch that Blackburn threw J.D. Drew in the first inning. Full count with Morneau on deck. Span had a similar plate appearance. Fell behind early and ended up drawing a walk. See if Span takes off here against the lefty John Lester. He takes off late, and he'll be doubled off first. Mauer with a line drive right at Pedroia, and the Twins have the bases empty with 2 gone. The Northland Ford defense for the Red Sox. Jason Bay in left, Ellsbury and Drew, the rest of the outfielders. Youkilis again playing third base. Lugo and Pedroia up the middle. Bailey gets first base, and Veritek behind the plate.
Yeah, sometimes you take the gamble right there and send that runner on 3-2, and Joe hit it good, but right at Pedroia to complete the double play.
Swing and a miss to Morneau. Morneau 6th in the American League in hitting at 341. Tied for 2nd in home runs and 3rd in runs batted in. Fastball away, and it's 1-1. Ooh, up around the hands. 2-1. Chopped foul at the plate, and it's 2-2.
Well, I mentioned Lester making his 10th start of the year. 53 1/3 innings for Lester. He has given up 68 hits, 10 home runs. 2 behind Scott Baker, leading the American League in most home runs allowed. And they say what's hurt him so far this year, it's the big innings, the 3-4 run innings.
Chopper over the mound. Lugo can't field it, and Morneau will get a hit. He's going to run for second. And he's tagged out. He saw second base unattended momentarily with the middle infielders chasing the ball. He'll get an infield hit, and he's thrown out at second.
Twins' Denard Span is back in center field after missing the last 2 games with dizziness. He still doesn't know the cause of that dizziness, but Denard did go to the doctor today. He had some tests run, and he hopes to figure out what was causing it pretty soon. He said that he's never felt like this before, and he also told me he is not quite back to 100% yet, but he did tell Gardy that he felt much better and he was ready to play today. And I asked Ron Gardenhire if Span needed to lobby at all to be back in the lineup tonight, and Gardy told me nope. I just asked him what the doctor said. He told me he could play, so he's going to play. And Dick and Bert, I know Gardy and the Twins were happy to see Span back in that lineup tonight.
Absolutely, Marnie. Thank you very much. David Ortiz with 1 strike leading off the Boston second. And now another called strike, 0-2, and Ortiz goes for a stroll. It's been quite a story in Boston this year with Ortiz struggling. Average sub 200. He hit a home run a week or so ago, and everybody thought, well, there we go. Got the first one out of the way. But since then, he's gone 2 for 18 with 7 strikeouts. He's in a prolonged struggle here in 2009.
Well, he's a big part of the Boston Red Sox offense, and they hope to get him going.
Takes a close pitch to even the count.
Ortiz, a career 287 hitter. He has 291 career home runs. And you see where he was last year compared to this year.
And now 3-2.
Ortiz in his 7th season with the Red Sox, of course, with the Twins from 1997 to 2002.
Lace to right center field. Kadire will chase it down. Ortiz running for second. The throw coming through, and he's in with a leadoff double. Kadire had a long run and did a nice job getting to that ball. It had notions of splitting the outfield and going all the way to the wall.
Well, the defense for the Twins had Kadire pulled because of David Ortiz's power, and then he hits a lot of balls the other way, so Span was shading him a little bit to left center. Ortiz ends up hustling a double right here. But Kadire, like you mentioned, he went a long way to cut that ball off. For Ortiz, that's his 12th double of the year.
And now Varitek, who will try to do what he can to get Ortiz to third base or beyond. Up and away, ball 1. Blackburn got into some first inning difficulty, but pitched out of it. Picked up a couple of strikeouts along the way, and now Ortiz on a 3-2 pitch hammers a double. And Blackburn right back into the stretch position. Two and 0.
And both pitches outer half of the plate. Blackburn will try to throw that sinker away. Maybe Varitek will hit the ball to the left side of the infield, but he's trying to hook the ball right here. You see Nick Punto playing almost up the middle, right behind David Ortiz.
2-0 to Varitek. Swinging through the breaking ball. 2-1. Was that a slider or a cutter?
Little slider right there. Varitek hitting better as a right-handed hitter, hitting only .221 as a left-handed hitter. 3 of his 8 home runs coming from this side of the plate.
Lifted foul and out of play, and it's 2-2. Varitek a little frustrated with himself there. He headed back toward the on-deck circle, and the bat boy was going to bring him a new bat.
A little upset because he felt, I think, he should have pulled that ball right there. Instead, he hit it foul.
Blackburn got, as it turned out, big strikeouts of Pedroia and Youkilis in the first inning. Just off the inside corner, and another full count to a Boston hitter. Blackburn not missing by much, but he's run the count full to his second batter already here in this second inning.
Tony Randazzo behind the plate. He's been pretty stingy really on both sides of the corners.
Veritek swings at what might have been ball 4, and another big strikeout for Nick Blackburn.
I mentioned before, Blackburn not really a strikeout pitcher, a season high 6 strikeouts coming here against the Mariners, but a good fastball. And Veritek a little late. And Blackburn picks up his 3rd strikeout.
And now Jeff Bailey. Bailey with 3 home runs on the season, and 2 of them have come against the Twins, including one last night. A home run off R.A. Dickey that proved to be the game-winning run. 1 strike.
Well, Francisco Liriano really struggled in the 3rd and 4th inning, went only 4 innings, and R.A. Dickey pitched outstanding.
Lifted down the right field line. A long run again for Kadire, but it's out of play.
That was the only run that Dickey allowed in the 4 innings he pitched.
Tonight's game on Fox Sports North is also being presented in high definition. For a complete listing of HD cable providers, go to foxsports.com, keyword North. Two strikes to Bailey. And Bailey takes a slider down in the dirt, or down low. Swing and a foul. Rolls to the backstop. It's been a struggle for Blackburn, with Ellsbury starting the 1st with a single and stealing 2nd. Ortiz starting the 2nd with a double. This will be the 39th pitch already for Blackburn, and he's only gotten 4 outs. 2-2.
It's a lineup right here, Dick, that you have to be very careful of. Yeah, you look at the bottom part of the lineup, Bailey and Lugo, but they're pretty good hitters right here.
So Gardy was talking about in moving Ortiz down to 6. Gardy said, oh great, now we got to get through the first 5 batters and then face David Ortiz. Bouncer to 3rd. Harris has it. Over to Morneau, 2 down. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Julio Lugo. It's click it or ticket time. You can text us a question or a comment to short code 234-234, and we'll answer it later during our broadcast or during Quest Twins Live postgame show, brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety, reminding you to buckle up. And now Lugo with Ortiz still at second base.
That was the first ground ball out for Blackburn, and usually about 60-65% of his outs recorded come on ground ball outs.
One strike to Lugo. Tapper foul, 2 strikes. Red Sox are anxious for Jed Lowry to make himself available and come back from injury. Lugo has had an uneven year with the Red Sox again this year.
Yeah, Lugo started the season on a disabled list from that right knee surgery, activated in late April.
2 strikes to the Boston shortstop, and he takes up high.
Lugo 0 for 4 in last night's ball game with a couple strikeouts.
Popped up. Morneau across the line. Ends the inning. Ortiz starts it with a double and is left there. And Blackburn does a nice job pitching out of trouble again.
His swing, he has not drifted off the backside at all, which most power hitters do not. His body, his head stays very still. His contact point maintains out in front of him. To me, guys, when you look at a power hitter's swing, Pujols, McGuire, a guy played with Sammy Sosa, guys that hit a lot of home runs, did not get any leak off their backside. And because of that, they were able to elevate the baseball to the whole field. And that's what's changed Joe Mauer from being the line drive ground ball guy that's hitting for a high average to this guy who's ending up hitting the ball in the seats every 7 at-bats. Unbelievable start by Joe Mauer in the month of May.
It really has been. Ron Coomer, thank you very much. In our pregame, I kind of said it's the same, as a pitcher side, it's how you push off that pitching rubber is what Joe Mauer's doing right now. The foundation he has on that back leg, his left leg, is incredible.
2-1 to Kadire, leading off the Twins' second. And he takes a strike, 2-2.
And John Lester, a guy that does a good job of getting to that balance point, turning and then bending his left leg almost the same way Joe does when he hits, makes good contact.
What the Twins have been looking for a number of years, knowing that Mauer and Morneau, among the elite hitters in the game, a right-handed complement to them. And of course, Michael couldn't do that last year. He was on the disabled list and banged up almost all year long. But now, after the first month, the Twins have what they've been looking for a long time. And Kadire laces one into the left field corner. He'll have an extra base hit. On a 2-2 pitch, a line drive to left, and the Twins get a leadoff double in the second.
So much attention to Joe Mauer as far as how he's been hitting, and there should be, but what about the month of May that Michael Kadire's been able to put together? I mean, right here, Lester throwing a breaking ball left it up, and Kadire keeping those hands back and hitting this ball sharply into that left field corner. So a leadoff double for Kadire, his 10th double of the year. The Twins get their second hit of the ball game off of Lester.
Back to another quality left-handed hitter, Jason Kubel. Starts the night 7th in the American League in batting at .340. Remember now, Ortiz led off the second for Boston with a double, and the next batter, Varitek, wanted desperately to at least get Ortiz to third base, but he struck out. We'll see how Kubel does in the same situation here in the bottom of the inning.
Kubel has faced Lester only 3 times, 0 for 3 against John Lester.
A little dribbler to the left side, but slow enough to allow Kadire to advance. Low throw dug out by Bailey. And although Kubel didn't pull the ball, he got the job done.
Yeah, he hit it soft enough to where it was right at Kadire, and he knew where Lugo was, a little bit over his left shoulder. And that ball right there, Kadire hustling over to third. And Lugo making sure he gets the out at first. Good little pick right there by Bailey to retire Kubel. So Kubel does do his job.
So now the right side of the infield in with Brendan Harris at the plate, and the left side playing at more normal depth. First pitch taken for a strike. Ron Coomer leading off at second base, as Kadire was with a leadoff double. Isn't that the rule of thumb? If the ball is hit at you, you can go ahead and go.
That is correct, Dick. And the great thing that what Mike did is he recognized it immediately. The other thing is he's running to third base. What you want to do is you want to run to the outfield side of the bag, because that's where the shortstop's going to be throwing it if you have any question. To me, just a great read and understanding how tough it was going to be for Kubel to pull John Lester.
And now 1 strike to Harris. Curious infield alignment for the Red Sox with the right side in.
Yeah, Pedroia in at second and Lugo deep at short. We showed you in the lineup that Harris has had very good success against John Lester, 7 for 15.
Kadire can lead off at third, about the distance Youkilis is off the bag. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Joe Creedy again had x-rays on his hand, his right hand, and hopes to be able to play. Unable to grip a bat. Didn't even take batting practice today. So Harris getting the start at third base with the left-hander John Lester starting for Boston. Big pitch here, 1-2. And now 2-2. Cuddyer hoping to be the first run of the game. He's at third with one out. And Harris hacks it foul into the Boston dugout. Ron Coomer more on Cuddyer's base running.
Well, Dick, right now, Mike's in kind of a tough predicament right here at third base. We've seen this earlier in the year where we, as the Twins, threw out a runner at home because he was a little lazy on his break for home plate with those infield, with half the infield back. Right now, the only guy Mike's really got a good shot at scoring is Lugo. The ball hit to the shortstop, and even Lugo is in 2 steps. So if the ball's hit sharp, it's going to be tough.
Called third strike on an off-speed pitch, and Harris doesn't believe it. So Lester gets a big strikeout in the second.
Well, Lester came into the ball game 5th in the American League in strikeouts with 58. And right here, that big breaking ball. Even though Varitek catches that ball in the inner half, it crosses home plate as a strike. So Lester picks up a big strikeout.
And a big at bat now for Delmon Young with the infield back at normal depth. Cuddyer inching down the line here with Lester going from the full windup. Of course, earlier this year, Jacoby Ellsbury, who runs a little bit better than Michael, raced home when Andy Pettit went from the full windup. Uckel is playing a deep third base.
Yeah, the first one was in the windup. Now he goes to the stretch.
And Young behind in the count, quickly 0-2.
Yeah, Delmon's had a tough time since returning after the death of his mother. A lot of strikeouts for Delmon Young. He told me today it feels like early spring training again, missing about 8 to 10 days.
See what he can get done here on 0-2. Bounced it foul. Before he left the ball club, he was struggling against left-handed pitching, hitting just .200 with 5 singles and 25 at bats and 8 strikeouts. Two strikes again for Delmon Young. Now a ball.
Yeah, he is. That's terrible.
And Lester's had some difficulties here in this first inning. Only retired one batter in the first. He got Mauer to line into a double play. Struck him out. So the Twins get a leadoff double in the second. Can't work Cuddyer around to score the game's first run. Minnesota. You can visit exploreminnesota.com and plan your next Minnesota vacation today. The waves and rugged shoreline on the north shore of Lake Superior. And that means, of course, to Minnesotans, the North Shore means Lake Superior, but to the Ojibwe Indians, they still call Lake Superior Lake Gitchigumi. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury taking outside, starting the third inning. Ellsbury, Pedroia, and Drew facing Blackburn, who'd love to have a 1-2-3 inning here and just pitch from the windup all inning. High drive, right center field, hit a long way. Span back. Near the track, one down. And it looked like Ellsbury just missed hitting one out.
Hey, he's not really a home run hitter. He has only one home run on the year. Looked like a ball up right there, and Span ran it down.
And now Pedroia. Pedroia struck out on a check swing in the first inning. Breaking ball over for strike one. We've seen Blackburn with a slider in the mid to upper 80s and then a slower breaking ball in the upper 70s. That's hit to left. Young over. Out number 2. Sunday NASCAR on Fox heads to Dover, Delaware, where Kyle Busch will try to defend his title against a full field of the world's best drivers. Coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing presented by McDonald's from Dover begins Sunday at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific, and I'm guessing that's 12:30 Central in high definition on Fox. Another fly ball hit to a gap. Kadire trying to cut this one off. 3 fly ball outs in quick fashion. The Red Sox are done in the third.
Now only 5 pitches. He needed that. Only 82 pitches against the Chicago White Sox.
Matt Tolbert fouls the first pitch away.
As a pitcher, you need innings like that. You know, you have your tough innings like Blackburn did in the first and second, and then you need an inning where you throw 5 pitches so you kind of get back on track.
Mean anything that he's only gotten 1 ground ball out through 3 innings?
Well, you know what? Sinker ballers, if they're a little strong at the beginning with pitching every 5th or 6th day, you're going to get more fly ball outs, but as the game goes on, we're going to get more ground balls out of Nick Blackburn.
Twins have some speed up here in the third, starting with Tolbert, then Punto and Span. And it's 0-2 quickly to Tolbert. Twins would love Tolbert to get going here. Second base has not given the Twins much in the way of offense with Casilla and then Tolbert, and of course Punto has had his struggles. 1-2. Tolbert hitting just 176 as a right-handed batter. Punto hitting just 138 as a right-handed batter. And a good take by Tolbert, and it's 2-2. Cleveland leading Tampa Bay 2-0. The Rays can't seem to win in Cleveland. They've got a rain delay there. It's in the 5th inning.
How about that game last night in Cleveland? Cleveland came back and beat the Rays. They're down by 8 runs and came back and won.
This to short center, and Pedroia makes the catch. 1 away. You can use Twins tickets to raise funds for your school, sports team, or other organization. Nonprofit groups can purchase tickets at a discount and then resell them to supporters for up to their face value, keeping the difference. And recent groups have raised more than $6,000 on their Twins events, so call 833-TWINS. Get in touch with the group sales department today. Great pitching matchup in Kansas City. Two of the best pitchers in the league right now. Edwin Jackson going for Detroit, and Zach Greinke going for Kansas City. Little dribbler hit to the right side, an easy play for Pedroia. Punto's quickly retired, 2 down. And that'll bring up Span. Span had a great plate appearance in the first inning, fell behind quickly, 1-2, and ended up drawing a walk. Then the Twins sent him on a 3-2 pitch to Mauer, and Mauer lined to the second baseman, and the Red Sox turned a double play. Span has likened his wooziness to what Nick Blackburn had a couple weeks ago. Blackburn had it during a start. Joey Votto of the Reds missed, was it 10 games with something similar that was diagnosed as an inner ear infection. They brought him back, and he had to leave a ball game when the symptoms reappeared. We'll hope that whatever it is, it's getting better for Denard and he can move forward from this. 1-1. Tap foul, 1-2. Trying to get aboard with 2 gone in the 3rd. And he flips it foul. Span with increased power in the month of May. The Twins hit 16 home runs in 22 April games, 37 home runs in 24 May games so far.
Yeah, they have hit a home run in 8 straight games, the Minnesota Twins have.
Oh.
I got a piece of Span as he throws the bat toward first base.
Lester looking at him from the mound.
Well, I don't understand this right here, only because Span stands on right on top of the plate. And Span reacting that Lester can't come inside.
Well, Lester stared at him all the way up the baseline.
Well, we've seen Lester try to work both sides of the plate. You see Varitek sitting inside, and Span, who's almost over the plate a little bit, doesn't try to get out of the way, takes the pitch near the rib area, and then throws his bat.
Lester has 5 pickoffs on the season. The Twins finally sent Span on a 3-2 pitch to Mauer, and the ensuing double play pretty much took the Twins out of the inning. We'll see if Span takes off here, or how many times Lester throws over there with Mauer at the plate. First pitch taken for a ball. The Red Sox have struggled greatly in throwing out runners. 59 stolen base attempts and just 6 throwouts. My My Minnesota high school math tells me that's just over 10%.
That's better than A.J. Przinsky in the Cubs or the White Sox.
I would think there'd be a lot of this if Lester can pick off Span. He didn't have to pitch to Mauer this inning.
Well, Span leads the club in stolen bases with 9 in 12 attempts.
Outside 2-0. Scotty Alger back with the ball club last night after missing the weekend's games. His daughter Jenna's graduation from college. 2-0 to Mauer. And Span got a great jump, stealing second easily. And the pitch called a strike to Mauer.
Well, so many times we look at those numbers like you mentioned about the throw not being able to throw out runners, but it's the way that they steal a base. Span right there on first movement takes off, and Varitek, I don't care if they have Johnny Bench's arm, you're not going to throw out Span right there. He steals his 10th base of the year, and he gets into scoring position.
Two and one, the count to Mauer. And now 3-1 with Morneau on deck. And this is where this Twins lineup right now is very tough to pitch to. You've got the hottest hitter in baseball in a 3-1 count with first base open, and then you got that guy in the on deck circle. Brewers found out what happens if you put Mauer aboard when they hit him with a pitch. The next one was sent into the upper deck. Three and two.
Mauer kind of questioning that call right there. Fastball outer half of the plate.
Well, the Twins couldn't do anything in terms of run production with Kadayer's leadoff double. We'll see what they can do with Span's 2-out plunking. Lester's run the count full to Mauer again. Got him. Came inside to get a swinging strike 3. And the Twins leave Span in scoring position. No score after 3. Twins Vice President of Marketing Patrick Klinger to talk about a really neat promotion for Twins fans who have been anxiously awaiting the open of Target Field. They can actually be a part of Target Field.
You know, they can. It's called the Twins Tradition Wall, Dick, and it's a really exciting new project. It's a collaboration with the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Ballpark Authority. And this is a really dramatic, beautiful piece of art that will reside on Target Plaza, which is the gateway to Target Field. And that wall will feature every player who ever donned a Twins uniform. But what makes this especially exciting for fans is that they also have an opportunity to have their name on the wall. So you can be up there right next to Bert Blyleven.
Oh boy. Base hit to left. I'm next to Bert Blyleven all the time. Euclid with the third leadoff hit for Boston.
Well, and for just $245, you can be etched for eternity next to Bert Blyleven on the Twins Tradition Wall.
You know, it's kind of cool, though, Patrick, because in that new Arlington Stadium, they have the bricks of each team. And I know on the way back and forth to the hotel, I'll stop and I'll see all the names of every year, and they put the stats on there. And it's kind of cool to be able for fans to also have their name and family represented on what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Many teams have done brick paver programs. So as you've traveled around the league, I'm sure you've seen those quite often. This is highly unique in that it's a wall. It's a glass wall. There are 8 panels. There are only 2,400 slots. Once those 2,400 are gone, they're gone. So we really encourage fans to visit twinsbaseball.com, get all the details on the Twins Tradition Wall, and hopefully get their order in soon and reserve your legacy, your place in history.
So if I'm in the viewing audience and I'm interested in this idea, let's say I want to be next to Jack Kralik. Can I request being next to Jack Kralik?
Well, we haven't quite decided yet how the names are going to go up there, but we anticipate that they will probably go in the order that we've received them.
Okay.
But every team since 1961, when the Twins arrived here, will have its own plaque that will reside on the wall, and then those 8 panels will be filled up with fan tributes as those orders come in.
And you said this is going to be out in the Plaza area in right field, right?
It is on Target Plaza, which is a beautiful area just outside the ballpark, filled with public art and greenery, and it's a pedestrian walkway, and in many ways it's the gateway to Target Field.
David Ortiz at the plate taking ball 1, a leadoff double in the second. Each team has had an opportunity with a leadoff double to score a run, but neither team has as of yet. Bay striking out, and Blackburn continues to pick up some big strikeouts along the way through his 4 innings. Popped up, should reach the seats, hit a speaker. Not the first time Ortiz has done that. It's a dead ball that bounced back to the mound, and Blackburn caught it. A couple years ago that would have been an out. A couple of years ago here, Ortiz hit, in my mind, the longest ball ever hit here, and he got a single. He hit a speaker out in right center field, and might have been one of the longest balls he's ever hit, but it carried back on the field, and all he got was a single. It hit that speaker. And then Manny Ramirez, I guess he hit into a double play in the next at bat, just off the corner.
Patrick, how can people find out more about this Twins Tradition Wall?
All of the details are on twinsbaseball.com. It's right there on the home page. They can call 1-877-TWIN-WALL. It's TWINWAL. There are up to 35 characters per etching. And for those people who would like a memento of their etching, commemorative replicas are available for an additional $80, and they're beautiful pieces that are perfect for your mantle, your desk, any place in your home.
Very nice.
3-1 to Ortiz. And he missed wide, and Ortiz has reached both times, first and second. 1 away. Big development out at the Target Field, the construction site today. The Twins logo put up on the Is it on the outside of the stadium or on the scoreboard? Up above the scoreboard. Wow. This thing's really going to happen, isn't it, Patrick?
It is. My office is on the 35th floor of a office building in downtown Minneapolis. I have the good fortune of being able to look out over Target Field every day and see it come to life. And it was thrilling for me to see those numbers up, being carted up by a crane.
Delman Young with a nice running catch. And the throw back to second, not in time. Right down the line, Varitek made a bid for an extra base hit. And Delman Young raced over and caught it.
Well, even though Delman Young has struggled at the plate since his return, you don't take it out on the field with you. One reason Alexi Casilla was sent down. And Delman right here goes a long way for this ball and makes a nice running catch. Now Youkilis at second base, he went about halfway. And Delman tracking this ball down for the second out. And Youkilis able to get back to second.
And now Jeff Bailey. Half swing and a strike. Patrick, we're counting down the days left till we have outdoor baseball here. The regular season countdown anyway, down to 54. It'll be 53 here in a couple innings. And you've had a wonderful view of this ballpark as it's being erected. Fouled back, 2 strikes.
It's really been a lot of fun, very exciting to see it come to life the way that it has. Remember back to the groundbreaking ceremony in August of was it 2007, and you know, there were times where I looked around and I wondered how in the world would they fit a ballpark into that space. Well, they've done a marvelous job of it, and having the good fortune of being able to get over to the site quite often. I can tell you it's really going to be a special, beautiful place.
Strike 3. Bailey called out on strikes, and the Red Sox leave 2 more aboard. Our thanks to Patrick Klinger. Another scoreless inning for Nick Blackburn.
Keep up the good work, Patrick. Thank you.
North is brought to you by Quest. Get free 2 gigs online backup service with Quest high-speed internet. By Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Justin Morneau swinging through the first pitch, offered to the plate by John Lester here in the 4th inning. 0-2. Morneau, Kadire, and Kubel facing Lester, who's gotten Joe Mauer out a couple of times tonight in key spots.
Well, good fastball right there by Lester for strike 1, and then a nasty breaking ball. Very hard slider to get ahead in the count. 0-2.
1-2. Tapper to the right side. Bailey has it. And he'll be Morneau to the bag. One down. Michael Kadire with a leadoff double in the second. Continuing a red-hot May. And he talked about what the difference is from April to May.
You know, when you've been in this game for so long, you don't really put much clout into your April stats just because you know there's 5 months left of the season. I was still trying to get over to the injuries, getting back into just being able to play baseball. So I didn't really look too much into April stats. Plus, it was only a 3-week month.
First ball hitting, hits it up. Second hop out of the dirt. And Kadire out by a step at first. He's gone on one pitch with Youkilis making a strong throw across the diamond, 2 away.
Well, Kadire just in a good groove right there. A breaking ball right there. Kadire a little out front. And it's almost the same breaking ball that he hit the double. This time he just got on top of it. Youkilis playing at deep third base. Threw him out by a step.
And now Kubel. Lester getting a couple of quick outs here in the fourth. Kubel bounced out his first time up, but in doing so moved Kadire from second to third. Strike on the outside corner. Jason still has some stiffness and swelling in his knee, but is well enough to play, certainly well enough to be the DH for the Twins tonight. And quickly 0-2 with Kubel taking a couple of strikes. A little over a year ago, Lester threw the 18th no-hitter in Boston history against the Kansas City Royals. May 19th of 08.
Yeah, he ended up winning that ball game 7-0. He had a couple walks in that no-hitter with 9 strikeouts.
He and Clay Buchholz, the 2 young gems, pitching gems of the Red Sox farm system. Buchholz nearly threw a perfect game last night for Pawtucket. He's on the verge of joining this Boston rotation something. John Smoltz next month figures to be with the Red Sox.
Well, Lester would like to have a quick inning.
Backhanded by Lugo. And he throws over to Bailey and he has that quick inning. A 3 up, 3 down, 4th.
Guys, your dad does not look 50.
No, he doesn't. He's young. You didn't see the hair coming out of his ears.
We'll see if we can zoom that camera in a little bit better. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Have a good time tonight.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Marty.
Oh. One strike to Lugo, leading off the fifth. Lugo, Ellsbury, and Pedroia.
Yeah, why is that? I mean, sometimes you lose your head on the top of your, the hair on top of your head as you get older, but it comes out other places. I don't understand that.
I have no answer. There's a liner to left and another leadoff hit for the Red Sox. Lugo will round first and hold up there. Fourth time the Red Sox have started an inning with a base hit. You can contribute to baseball history here in Minnesota and offer up a vote for the all Metrodome team exclusively at twinsbaseball.com. You can log on tonight and make your selections to set the roster of Twins greats that'll be named later this summer. Twinsbaseball.com for the latest in Twins merchandise and single game tickets.
A lot of good memories in this Metrodome.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury with Pedroia in the on deck circle. Mr. Herbeck, Mr. Puckett, Twins Hall of Famers, their numbers having been retired. Now Rod Carew's number was retired, but the only games he played here were with the other guys for the Angels. Fouled off a leg. That's 1-1.
That's one way to stop this speedster right here. Make him beat himself into the ankle. Ellsbury getting a base hit, his first at bat, continuing at now a 21 game hitting streak. Ichiro Suzuki currently on a 19 game hitting streak coming into tonight's play.
1-1 to Ellsbury. It's been an odd game in that the Red Sox have only 4 hits, but they've all been leadoff hits. 3 leadoff singles and a leadoff double. After giving up his leadoff hits, Blackburn has done very well. A couple of walks, but nothing that's really hurt him. How many can they get here? 1. And that's all they'll get. Punto not bothering to throw with Ellsbury running down the line. 1 away. You up for some trivia?
Oh, all the time.
Second baseman Dustin Pedroia.
Our Aflac trivia question with Dustin Pedroia coming to the plate. Perhaps he is the answer. Who are the 4 American League second basemen to win Rookie of the Year? One of them we mentioned just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, one of them we're looking at.
2 Twin second basemen have won the second baseman have won the award. Strike on the inside corner.
Now can we name the 4th?
I don't think we need to. We pretty much nailed this by our standards.
Or you think Steve S. is upset?
One strike to Pedroia.
Well, Ellsbury stole his 19th base in the first inning off of Blackburn.
Willie Randolph win the Rookie of the Year with the Yankees?
That I can't say. Steve S. would get mad.
Robbie Alomar's rookie season was with the Padres, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There goes the runner.
Great jump.
And Mauer's throw. Tolbert did a nice job keeping that from skipping into center field.
Well, another great jump right there by Ellsbury. He steals his second base of the ball game. On first movement right here, as soon as that left heel lifted for Blackburn, Ellsbury easily stole second.
Ron Comer, what about Dustin Pedroia?
Well, guys, this is a dangerous hitter for us. The one thing is Blackie can't lose his concentration. Pedroia has been a good fastball and fastball down hitter right there.
Hooked it into the corner. And it'll drive in the first run of the game. Pedroia has a double, and it's 1-0 Boston.
You know, when you watch a guy hit for a long time, and I've been watching him since he was at Arizona State, playing for a friend of mine, Pat Murphy, he's always liked the ball down, and he's always liked the ball in. And for a guy 5'7", you know, he likes to hook the ball. And right there, down and in, and that's where Blackie's bread and butter is. I knew this was a bad matchup for us.
Well, he's already down there anyway. He's like 5'7". You know, I mean, you could roll the ball in there, and he's going to be able to get some good wood on it. But no, this guy's a good player right here. Ron Coomer, I mean, you had it down perfect. He struck out the first time up on that fastball inner half of the plate, and right there he opened up nicely and hit that RBI double.
You know, the one thing about Dustin that, you know, I just love since I've been watching him play at ASU, he's a baseball player. There is nothing else about him other than loving to come to the park and loving to play the game of baseball. Fun to watch.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that want to get dirty every day.
1-1 to J.D. Drew.
Out of the Southern California area, like Coom said, out of Arizona State University, signed by the Boston Red Sox in 2004, their number 2 pick. MVP last year, of course.
Blackburn did a great job of damage control through 4 scoreless innings. Now needs to ratchet it up here in the 5th. Bouncer to short, and Pedroia will advance. Punto to Morneau, 2 down.
Well, that's almost what Michael Kadire did in the 2nd inning right there. The ball hit at you, and Punto knows, the veteran says, you know what, I got to get the out right here. You try to throw at Pedroia, and he's going to do exactly what Coomer said, run on the outfield side, so really no play, but get the out at first. Well, a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings, but since that time, had a normal inning between 12 and 17 pitches for a starter.
Called strike to Youkilis. Youkilis struck out in the first inning with 2 men aboard, and then led off the 4th with a single and got as far as second base. And another breaking ball. It's 0-2.
And he swung through the breaking ball his first at bat to strike out. Blackburn with 5 strikeouts so far in the ball game.
Two strikes to Youkilis. Chaff swing. Did he go? Strike 3. So the Red Sox get an RBI double from Dustin Pedroia to break the ice in the 5th. We're at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Dustin Pedroia with an RBI double. Only run of the game so far with Marty Gellner, Ron Coomer, and Bert Blyleven. I'm Dick Bramer. Bottom of the fifth, and Brendan Harris leading things off. Taking strike one from John Lester. One and one. Harris, Young, and Tolbert to face Lester here in the fifth. The Twins have had their leadoff man on twice in the first two innings. Span with a walk and Kadire with a double. And now a leadoff single for Harris here in the fifth inning. Ron Coomer, Delmon Young's had a tough time making contact. He's really had a tough time in his second year with the Twins. How would you look at his swing?
Well, when you talk about Delmon, you know, he does such a good job in BP working, but if you look at it, his weight is really leaning forward right now. So to me, he really has to make a big move with his upper body to go back to get set. And he never, right there in that swing, he never gets back to a loaded position. He goes from on his front foot to the middle, and then when he picks his front foot up, he goes back forward. He never gets really loaded right now, so he can fire, and you're seeing it right there in his setup. And that's why he's a little behind some of those good fastballs that, you know, in years past, I think he's been able to catch up to.
So, Ron, it's almost the opposite of what you were talking about Joe Mauer.
It's the exact opposite, Bert. And you see, as soon as his front foot comes up off the ground right there, his body weight starts going forward. When Joe Mauer's front foot, or Justin's, or Kadire's front foot comes off the ground, their body weight stays right where it's at. And that's a big problem, because then your head's going to move, and we all know that's an issue.
Hit hard to center. And a great diving catch in center by Ellsbury. What a phenomenal catch by the Boston center fielder.
My, oh my, I thought that ball was by him. Ellsbury just caught up to this. The ball hit a little bit harder, I think, than Ellsbury first anticipated. But Delmon Young, with his strength, makes good contact here on a ball down. And Ellsbury leaping at the last second and sliding on the turf and making an outstanding catch. And John Lester saying thank you very much.
Well, here's Matt Tolbert with Harris still at first. So a couple of line drives for the Twins here in the fifth against Lester, and a throw to first. Tolbert hit a pop-up to Pedroia, his first time up. Bunted in the air, foul.
You know, to pitch shutout baseball at the major league level, and Blackburn gave up a run last inning. Lester has not given up one yet. You need good defense behind you. Both these clubs, even though Boston Red Sox are 12th as far as most errors in the American League, Ellsbury can cover some ground. He made a great play right there. Delmon Young made a great play off the bat of Varitek. That coming in the fourth inning behind Nick Blackburn.
Harris goes on the pitch. Here's the ball chopped to Lugo. Safe at first. So the Twins sent Harris, and Tolbert chopped it off the plate for a hit.
Well, trying a little hit and run right there. Get the middle infielders moving a little bit. And it paid off. A lot of times when a guy is struggling, just make good contact right here. And the ball hits off the plate, so it's high, and by the time Lugo could get it and put something on that throw, Tolbert beats it out.
And now Punto. Punto and a little ground ball to Pedroia, his first time up. To right field, down for a hit. Harris around third. He's coming in. Drew's throw way up the line, and everybody moves up a base. So Punto drives in a run to tie it up. And the Twins have 2 in scoring position here in the 5th.
All right, just to talk how important defense is behind you, and right there, Nick Punto picking up the RBI, his 12th of the year. A bad decision right here by the right fielder, J.D. Drew. He airmails the ball, misses the cutoff man Bailey. Varitek has to go out, and now it allows Nick Punto to go to first, from first to second, and they also stay out of the double play opportunity for Lester and the Red Sox.
And Punto's going to get rid of some equipment here. The Red Sox will bring the corner infielders in, so that changes too with the overthrow by Drew. And Span at the plate. Only out recorded on the best hit ball of the inning, with Ellsbury making one of the best catches you'll ever see in a center fielder or from a center fielder. Here's Span. He's walked and been hit by a pitch. And he takes low. Remember, as Span was hit by the pitch, he flung his bat toward Jerry White, and Lester stared at him as he went up the first baseline.
Well, these are the innings, they say in Boston, that have hurt Lester right here. It's not the 1-run innings, it's the 2- and 3-run innings that have put his record at 3 and 4 with a high ERA.
Big at bat for Denard Span. Speed on the bases. Tolbert at third. Punto at second. High chopper over the mound. It'll score a run, and Span drives in the second run of the inning. And the Twins playing small ball here. This is the Twins offense we've grown accustomed to seeing. Forget the home runs. Tolbert chops one off the plate. Span chops one out of the dirt in front of home plate, and it's 2-1 Twins.
Yeah, all the fun is done right now. Joe just hit one out right here, so it's a 4-1 lead. You see the high chopper. Lester can't get it. Pedroia coming in. He gets the out at first. Tolbert scores the second run of the inning. And for Denard Span, his 22nd RBI of the year.
And now Mauer with Punto at third and 2 down. Mauer with a soft line drive to Pedroia, who turned it into a double play. And then on a 3-2 pitch, Mauer struck out on a pitch that might have been inside. Back in the third inning. Strike one. Lester has run the count full to Mauer twice in the ball game already. One strike to Joe Mauer. 1-1. Lester giving up a leadoff single to Harris. 2 more singles have followed, and the Twins have a 2-1 lead. 2-1. We mentioned that, of course, Mauer hits lefties well. Morneau hits them well. Span among the league's best in hitting lefties. Lester has given up an opponent batting average of over 300 against lefties. Both righties and lefties hitting over 300 against him.
5 of the 10 home runs he's given up have been to left-handed hitters.
3-1 with another lefty on deck, Justin Morneau. Francona looking on. His team has just taken the lead in the top of this inning. The Twins have taken it back in the bottom. And a walk puts Mauer aboard.
And second walk of the ball game for Lester.
Firestone leaderboard. Morneau at the plate. 1 for 2 on the night. Has yet to drive in a run, as we mentioned before. He's 6th in batting, tied for 2nd in home runs and 3rd in the league in runs batted in. Two on, 2 out for Morneau. Checked his swing. Took ball 1.
Everything has basically been away to Justin. If he comes in, it's off the plate inside. He'll go with that fastball away, the slider away.
Drilled to right. Gone.
I think I could have hung my clothes on that line drive. Home run number 14 on the year for Justin Morneau. Lester tried to come inside, and Justin opened up, and he did not miss it.
That may have broken a seat in right field.
See Veritek sitting inside, and watch this ball. It doesn't take more than 1-2. See you later. You're out of here. Now that's a line drive home run. Twins now have hit in home run in 9 straight ball games. And Lester has given up his 11th home run of the year.
And another big inning. Now it's a 5 spot up on the board for the Twins. And here's Kadire. Outside, ball 1. Activity in the Boston bullpen now for the first time. I don't know that a human being can hit the ball any harder than Justin Morneau just did. Flip foul down the right field line over the head of the Boston bullpen. So Daniel Bard warming up down in the Boston bullpen.
It's the 6th time in 10 starts that Lester has given up 5 runs or more in a ball game. So it's the big innings that have really hurt him this year.
Kadire with a 1-hopper to Youkilis. Pretty big 2-out walk for Joe Mauer and a bigger 2-out home run for Justin Morneau. It all added up to 5 in the inning, and the Twins lead 5-1. see if Blackburn can get the leadoff man on here or out here. The Red Sox with 5 hits, and 4 of them have been leadoff hits against Blackburn. Bay, Ortiz, and Varitek to face him here in the 6th. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, Blackburn with 6 strikeouts. That ties a career high for Blackburn in strikeouts in a ball game. He's done it 4 times now, earlier this year against the Mariners here at the Dome.
I guess what's impressive is not just the number of strikeouts, but where he's gotten them. Most of them have come with men in scoring position. All of them have come with men on base. Just off the corner with a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Twins disappointed in the numbers for Francisco Liriano yesterday, but Blackburn, who started the 4-game winning streak, is pitching very well here, hoping to start another winning streak for the Twins. Pounded foul. Let's go back to that game that Blackburn started in Chicago. The Twins went on to win 4 in a row, but that was the last game of the road trip. It was a heartbreaking, difficult road trip with 6 straight losses. And Blackburn proved once again that when the pressure is on, he can respond very well. Harris caught it on the fly, and Bay hit the stuffing out of the ball for the first out.
Oh, Harris just diving to his right and able to get this ball before it hit the turf. See how low Harris gets right there, and getting the ball in the glove for the first out. Good reaction right there by Brendan Harris for the first out.
Here's Ortiz. He's doubled and walked against Blackburn. Just outside ball 1. And that one floats over for strike 1. Another off-speed pitch over, and it's 1-2. Blackburn pitched in that do-or-die game in Chicago at the end of the year, and his last start against the White Sox, not the importance on that game as there was in game 163 last year, but I think it says something about him that he's able to respond well to those big games and not try to do too much and just put up good numbers and keep his team in the game.
Oh, and that's the type of pitcher he is. Again, his strikeout high in his career, he matched it here tonight. So he knows, when he's effective, he gets a lot of ground ball outs. More fly ball outs here for the Boston Red Sox tonight against Blackburn, but still able to do his job. And there's strikeout number 7. A new career high for Blackburn.
And Ortiz with a double, a walk, and now a strikeout. You can submit a question to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. And tonight our question, Tyler Lattery of Lakeville, wondering what the Twins record for most strikeouts in a game is as a pitcher.
I think Johan Santana got that a couple years ago.
17 strikeouts in 8 innings. Bouncer headed up the middle. Tolbert knocked part of it. He got part of it. Went under his glove, and Varitek's aboard with a single. Remember, the pitch count was coming up for Santana, and he struck out 2, if not all 3 batters in the 8th inning, and then came off the mound and tipped his cap to the crowd. And Ron Gardenhire was so grateful he did that because Santana all but took himself out of the game after 8 innings. And Ron Gardenhire didn't have to make the decision for him. He had a chance to tie the major league mark. Bouncer to short. And after Varitek's single, Bailey grounds out to end the inning. And the Twins have a 5-1 lead.
That coming last inning in the 5th inning. Same inning the Twins were able to put 5 on the board against John Lester.
Jason Kubel will lead off the 6th for the Twins. Kubel with a couple of ground balls to short. Then Harris and Young to face John Lester. Daniel Bard is not warming up in the Boston bullpen anymore. The Red Sox will let Lester start and they hope finish the 6th inning. Check swing and ball 1. Twins with a nice mix in that 5th inning. They had some base hits. They chopped some balls into the plate and the ground in front of the plate. And then somebody finally hit a home run, and before you knew it, they had a 5-run inning. Punto with a big base hit. That got the game tied. 2-0 to Kubel. Fastball and a strike. Tolbert chopped one off the plate and beat it out for an infield hit. Span chopped one just out of the reach of Lester. That allowed the go-ahead run to come in. Big swing and a miss, 2-2. Hits are even at 6 apiece, but the runs are not. Three and 2. Little bit low. Twins get their leadoff man on again here in the 6th inning. Tonight's trivia question, brought to you by Aflac, involves second basemen who won Rookie of the Year awards. Pedroia, Carew, Knobloch were the ones that we got. So we're wondering who it was we didn't get. I'll just go Willie Randolph, but I'm not even sure he won the award.
Bobby Grinch. Well, Lou Whitaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's Mr. Carew, the second Twin to win the Rookie of the Year award, the second Twin to go into the Hall of Fame. Harris takes inside. He nearly stepped into the pitch. Cleveland leading Tampa Bay 5-1. Kansas City now leading Detroit 5-1. Finally broke through against Edwin Jackson. Daniel Bard warming up again now after the leadoff walk. 1-0 to Harris. 1-1. It was Harris's leadoff single that led to the 5-run inning. Lester had not given up a hit since Kadyr's leadoff double in the second. Couple of 94-mile-per-hour fastballs from Lester. It's
he's
1
got
and 2.
a good fastball. Lester, very good fastball. We've seen that good hard slider. But again, here tonight, it's that big inning that has hurt him.
One and two. And now 2-2. Here's the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest high-speed internet. 97 miles per hour for Lester, 96 for Blackburn.
I think our gun's a little fast.
We got that gun from the Wisconsin Highway Patrol. On the outside corner for the second time, Lester has gotten Harris out on a called third strike.
Yeah, Lester picking up strikeout number 4 in the ball game.
Here's Delvin Young.
Well, shading the outer half of the plate right here. All right, pitcher's pitch right there, low and away on the black.
Young with another one, high and deep to center. Ellsbury back, and he makes a warning track catch this time. So Delvin Young hitting the ball hard twice, the same angle off the bat, and Ellsbury's denied him twice.
Yeah, 2 good at bats right there for Delvin, showing off his power, but he's hitting it to straightaway center. 408, and this time Ellsbury able to catch it on his feet.
Probably as relieved about that as anybody. Here's Tolbert, chopped one off the plate, beat it out for a key hit in the 5-run fifth.
Yeah, Twins put a little hit and run on right there with Harris at first. Tolbert made good contact and beat out that infield base hit. Kubel not a threat to steal, but Lester throwing over.
Deep enough into the season where there are fewer things in statistics that are odd, but the things that are odd are really odd this time of year. Matt Tolbert has as many home runs as David Ortiz. That's odd. Fouled back, 1-1. Tolbert cranking one out in Chicago in that 20-run ball game.
Yep.
1-1. Hit pretty well to center field, and Ellsbury retreats on this one to make a deep center field catch. Leadoff walk, no damage done, and it's still 5-1.
Couple walks. Career high 7 strikeouts for Blackburn.
Julio Lugo will lead off for the Red Sox in the 7th. Strike on the inside corner. Lugo started the 5th with a single, and that was the inning where the Red Sox scored their run, getting a 1-out double from Pedroia. I want to ask you what it is that Blackburn does or has, and he's shown it a number of times here tonight, that Francisco Liriano has not shown this year. What they're saying of Liriano, he gets in pressure situations and gets all out of whack mechanically. The ball flattens out and teams can string things together against him. What we've seen from Blackburn here, a couple of men aboard, he's able to make pitches and do a good job of damage control.
Well, they're two different type of pitchers. Blackburn doesn't stride as far. He does a very good job of getting to that balance point, almost a little hitch in his windup right there, and then he explodes toward home plate. Where Liriano has a tendency to overstride a little bit, which makes that arm flatten out, and that creates that flatness in that slider and the fastball. So Blackburn, who gets right here and then gets on top of the ball and creates that good sink type action.
Well, 3-2 to Lugo.
Every pitcher is different. You know, you can't say, well, you know, Liriano has to do what Blackburn does, but you all try to get back to that balance point. Same as Coomer was talking about Joe Mauer in his balance point. Every hitter has a balance point in the batter's box, and every pitcher has a balance point. And then you explode. Some guys extend a little bit further as far as where their leg lands, and some guys are more closer to their body. And Blackburn's one of those guys that's able to get over his body and almost bend his back. You see the number 53 on his back. You won't see that once he follows through right there.
To right center field, Span is over to make a nice running catch. 1 away.
We were talking about Baker, how you can just see that number 30 after he releases the ball. So every pitcher's different.
Dodge game summary with all the scoring in the 5th inning.
Well, the Boston Red Sox took a 1-0 lead. That in the 5th inning, a RBI double by Dustin Pedroia, but the Twins came right back with a big 5-run inning, and highlighted by this swing right here. Kapow! A 3-run home run for Justin Morneau, his 14th of the year.
Strike 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. 1 for 3 in the ball game. He extended his hitting streak in his first at bat, a solid single to center. Popped up, foul and out of play. Beyond mechanics, Blackburn seems to have the ability to figuratively, if not literally, step back. And I don't know, baseball people in athletics talk about slowing things down and just staying focused on what you need to do instead of trying to do too much.
But a changeup is a big part of his repertoire. I mean, he really utilizes that off-speed pitch through the curveball, through the slider, and then, you know, with the fastball right there, trying to sneak the fastball by him. So he utilizes all his pitches, where Liriano, if you watch him, everything is on the middle part of the plate, and if he misses a little bit, he gets hurt. He's got to establish down and away. He's got to establish with the fastball, and that was my scouting report on Liriano yesterday. Establish the fastball.
Baker did a good job of that the other night.
Yes, he did. And right there, just taking a little off. And all you're trying to do as a pitcher is to keep that hitter a little off balance, so when they do swing, the barrel of the bat doesn't catch the ball directly. Maybe a little bit off the bat. Maybe you can sneak a ball by him and get a strikeout.
And a ground ball base hit to left for Ellsbury.
And sometimes you have to tip your hat to a guy like Ellsbury, what he did right there. Breaking ball away. Ellsbury doesn't try to pull it. He just went with it. Picks up his second hit.
Oh, he looks like a really good hitter, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, watch this right here. This is exactly where Joe Mauer wanted it. A breaking ball away. And Ellsbury Even though you can see his lower part of his body had committed, he kept those hands back and got a nice base hit the other way.
Well, Ron Coomer did his best to warn us about the Pedroia at bat in the 5th. And strike one, and Pedroia took a pitch down and in and drove it into the left field corner for an RBI double, and now he comes up with 1 out and 1 on in the 7th.
Ellsbury with already 2 stolen bases.
And a base hit to right, and both hits for the Red Sox have gone to the opposite field.
Well, you know, right there, I mean, the at-bat that Ron Coomer was talking about was a fastball in. So Pedroia thinking, well, you know, they're not going to pitch me in, they're going to pitch me away where the first pitch was. And what does he do? He just goes with it. So he gets his second hit of the ball game. I mean, Blackburn, give me a ground ball. And Pedroia goes down and just hits it sharply into right.
Quick trip to the mound in the first one for Rick Anderson here tonight.
That's why I think this Boston Red Sox ball club, if their pitching stays and gets better than they are, I mean, they're right now 7th in the American League. Their starters have not really pitched up to their capabilities yet. I think they're the team to beat in the East.
They've got the bullpen that, let's put it this way, it's going to be a lot better for teams to be ahead 5-1 going into the 7th inning than trailing 5-1.
I talked to John Farrell, the pitching coach, about that, about their bullpen, and they said that he told me that Masterson is really the guy that has come up and really helped stabilize that bullpen. They have some great arms out there, you know, and your goal is to get to Papelbon as the Twins bullpen is to get to Joe Nathan.
The names have changed, but the middle of the Boston lineup still very potent. J.D. Drew is 0 for 2 with a walk. Then Youkilis is 1 for 3 with a single. And Blackburn would love to get a ground ball hit at somebody here.
And the Twins have Matt Guerrero and Jose Marjaras up in the bullpen.
108 pitches for Blackburn. A called strike. It's not like carrying 3 cords of wood into the house or anything like that, but it's 109 pitches for Blackburn, but factoring in, well, I guess his next start will be Sunday in St. Petersburg against the Rays. I thought he might pitch on the other side of the off day. Bouncer to second.
All right, turn it.
4-6. And a low throw, and Morneau can't dig it out. The throw goes to second. And the slide by Drew a little short. So Punto delivering a very low throw. Terry Francona may come out and argue some obstruction. The Red Sox get 1. strong, live bold, live now. Dodge, grab life. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing. Nick Blackburn got through 7 innings. 1 earned run, 1 unearned run, and it's a 5-2 Twins lead.
Yeah, 111 pitches for Blackburn. He had 111 2 starts ago. And he really battled here tonight. Very good outing for Nick Blackburn. Another quality start. His 6th quality start in 10 starts. Pitching coach Rick Anderson talking to Blackburn right there.
Well, this Boston lineup, you don't expect too many 1, 2, 3 innings, and Blackburn had just one of those. But he got 21 outs, and now Daniel Bard will come out of the Boston bullpen.
Well, Daniel Bard started the season at AAA Pawtucket, getting called up on May 10th. Very good fastball, a fastball clocked in the upper 90s. Hard slider and a circle changeup in his first season with the Red Sox. Red Sox #1 pick in 2006 out of the University of North Carolina.
Nick Punto charged with his 4th error to allow the 2nd Boston run to score. He'll lead off the bottom of the 7th. Gets on you in a hurry. 97 miles per hour with that pitch. Twins haven't seen Bard, at least not in a regular season game. And another knock for Punto. Ellsbury cuts it off. Punto's going to dig for 2. And he is in with a head-first slide. Back-to-back hits for Punto. And a leadoff double here in the 7th.
Well, good read right there by Nick Punto, because Ellsbury, a left-handed thrower, that ball was hit to his right. So by the time Ellsbury could get there, Nick Punto just lining this fastball to left center. Watch Ellsbury when he gets his ball. He's got the spin and turn, and that allows Nick Punto to hustle into second base. So he was thinking double the whole way. Punto with his 3rd double of the year.
Corner infielders up, expecting a possible bunt from Denard Span. Go play goes to first. Span successfully sacrifices. Punto going to 3rd base and bumping into Euclid.
Yeah, great butt right there by Denard Span.
So 4 productive plate appearances for Span, who rejoins the lineup, and he doesn't have a hit.
Yeah, his 3rd sacrifice of the year.
Trying to get the run back that they coughed up in the top of this inning. And Bard facing Mauer, Morneau, or Wilhe. See how cautiously the Red Sox pitch to the 2 lefties here.
Well, Bard just 23 years old, out of Houston, Texas.
Infield in. Mauer walked and scored in the 5th, officially 0 for 2. And a fastball for a strike. Mauer last night, or yesterday, in the 9th inning made a pinch hitting appearance, took a couple pitches, and it almost seemed as if he was simply timing Papelbon, and then delivered a 2-run pinch hit home run. So now he's seen Bard's 97-mile-per-hour fastball. And swings through the next one. 0-2. Trying to get Punto in from 3rd with 1 out. Mauer in the 9th inning, after not starting the game, entered the game with 1 runner on. Twins down by 3.
They got a fastball from Jonathan Papelbon and hit the 2-run home run. His 11th home run of the year. His first as a pinch hitter.
Second game in a row that Papelbon's given up a home run. 2 strikes again to Mauer. Very much outside. 1-2. Artwork for Joe Mauer.
Very nice job, kids.
And another one lifted into the seats down by the Twins bullpen. Bard went back to another breaking ball.
Bard at 6'4", almost the same size as Papelbon, almost does the same thing that Papelbon does out of the stretch. Not as much that sneer type look that Papelbon does. He's kind of bending over with his arm hanging. Then comes to the set position.
2-2.
Not a bad guy to try to emulate, though.
Punto led off the inning with a double. He's at third with 1 out. Infield in for the Red Sox. Twins trying to push the lead back to 4. And another foul. And that too hit a speaker and lands in front of the Twins dugout. Second time that a foul ball has hit something up there. Youkilis enjoying the quirkiness of this ballpark. The Twins finish with the Red Sox. Twins will face some different quirkiness, the catwalks and all that at Tropicana Field. Got him. Mauer strikes out for the second time in the ball game.
Yeah, that looked like a changeup right there. Bard went with fastballs, then he pulled the string, and Mauer slinging at a pitch out of the strike zone. Don't say that too often. So Bard picks up a big strikeout.
The 2 down, and now Morneau, who has 2 hits, almost a check swing infield hit in the first inning, and then a rocket into the fold-up seats and right. 98 and down the middle for a strike. And a breaking ball wide of the plate. 1-1. So now Morneau's average, and you saw the numbers, 347, 14 home runs, 44 runs batted in. I remember interviewing Justin in Chicago and asked him about what it meant to have Joe Mauer back hitting in front of him, and he said, you know, Joe forces the other pitcher to throw a lot of pitches, and we just had one of those at bats here in the 7th, and now they're going to go ahead and walk Morneau with Cuddyer on deck. And had the count gotten 2-1 to Mauer, the Red Sox might have intentionally walked him. Cuddyer will come up with runners at first and third.
John Farrell, the pitching coach, out to talk to his young right-hander.
Kadire doubled, got as far as third base in the second inning. Since then, a couple of ground balls to third. First and third with two gone. And Kadire looks at an upper 90s fastball inside, ball one. Gets the breaking ball over, 1-1. That's a foul ball. A foul ball. And Youkilis with a great play might have thrown Kadire out. The ball looked like it bounced right over the bag, and I think that's Youkilis's contention there. He made a great play on a tough hop.
Yeah, Jerry Lane right there, the third base umpire, kind of got tied up a little bit with Youkilis. He's keeping the eye on the ball. And even though it lands foul, it's where it crosses the bag. And Jerry Lane saying right there that ball is foul.
On that replay, it looked like he made the right call. That ball looked like it landed right away off Kadire's bat in foul territory and never went into fair territory. Foul back. 1-2. Here's the ball directly off Kadire's bat, and you can see it landed in the dirt in foul territory, and then again landed in foul territory. So never really entered fair territory. 1-2 to Kadire. 96 up around the cheekbones.
Well, trying to go inside just a little bit high.
Two and two to the Twins right fielder. Got him out in front, a little pop-up. Varitek stayed with it, made the catch in front of Youkilis. The Twins get two men on board. Got another leadoff double, but didn't get the run across.
Well, Matt Guerrero asked to get out of the 8th inning, making his 22nd relief appearance.
20,019 the paid attendance tonight. Youkilis, Bay, and Ortiz facing Matt Guerrero. Wallop to left, but foul. Long strike. Youkilis with a single and 2 strikeouts against Nick Blackburn. Oh, that staggers Mauer on a foul tip. If it got him on top of the right shoulder.
Well, Rick McWayne out there, the trainer, head trainer, along with Ron Gardenhire. Take a look at this pitch right here, right off that right shoulder. You can have all the padding you want back there, but when you make contact like that right there, that 90-mile-an-hour fastball hits you at about 100.
You ever wonder why it took so long for an American League catcher to win a batting championship? That's one of the big reasons why. How are you supposed to swing a bat and you can't feel your right arm? 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, and Mauer dug it out of there. 2-2. Last thing he'd need would be to have one come out of the dirt and sting him someplace else. 2-2 to Youkilis. Got him. 1 away. Great job by Nick Blackburn tonight. 7 innings, just 1 earned run allowed, and right now he's standing by with Marty Gelder.
All right, thank you, Nick. It took 21 pitches for you to get through the first inning. How did you settle yourself down and make sure you got through 7, though?
I'm not real sure how it changed anything. I don't think much changed. I think they just started putting the ball in play a little bit early. But I was very pleased with being able to go that long. With I think I had 40-something pitches in the first 2 innings, and just was able to stretch it out a little bit longer and get a lot of ground balls.
And you've now gone at least 7 innings in 6 of your last 7 starts. Gardy before the game said it's because you're mixing in all of your pitches. How important has that been?
That's huge for me. That's my game, and if I'm not mixing it in, if I'm all sliders and sinkers, I'm going to be in trouble. So me and both the catchers have been working pretty good together lately, and it's been rolling pretty well for me.
Nick, thanks so much.
No problem.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn said exactly what I was talking about with Francisco Liriano, where, he's not mixing in all his pitches and he's flattening a lot of pitches out. Blackburn, that type of pitcher, he needs all 4 pitches to work to have success, and he had them working here tonight.
1-2 to Jason Bay. 0 for 3, hit the ball hard his last time up. Brendan Harris catching his line drive. Got him looking, 2 down.
Well, he got Youkilis to chase a breaking ball out of the strike zone. He goes back to that breaking ball, and that curveball breaking right down the heart of the plate.
Click it or ticket at time. Brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. A question or comment to short code 234234. Will Ortiz turn it around? Mike from St. Cloud wondering.
I think he will. I think he will. He wants, especially in Fenway Park, because he has that type of swing that he'll find it. He had that wrist injury last year, and I don't think it's bothering him now. And sometimes a guy like David Ortiz, he's expected so much out of him that it maybe put a little too much pressure on himself.
Popped up. Left field. Delman Young ends the inning in a very good 8th inning for Matt Guerrero.
And coming up after the final out, it's Quest Twins Live. We'll include the Toyota postgame wrap as always, and look at situational running in our instructional and how Michael Kadire advanced from second to third on a ground ball to shortstop. Plus Justin Morneau's 14th home run, a closer look at that laser to right field, and another look at Delman Young and his fantastic catch in left field, helping out the Twins with some defense. So it's all coming up, plus a reaction from Ron Gardenhire and players after the game. Dick and Bert.
Thank you very much, Marty. And a new Boston pitcher, Takashi Saito.
Saito making his 17th relief appearance in his first season with the Boston Red Sox. Last 3 seasons with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was their closer, basically, and now he's kind of a setup guy here in Boston to Jonathan Papelbon.
Kubel leading things off for the Twins in the 8th. Takes a strike. Kansas City beat Detroit 6-1, so the Twins can gain the game back that they lost to the Tigers yesterday and be 3.5 games out if they can get the 9th inning taken care of and pick up a win here tonight. And Kubel waits on the breaking pitch and spins it foul over the Twins dugout.
Saito, 39 years old, signed as a free agent by the Boston Red Sox. Fastball slider type pitcher. We'll see Daisuke Matsusako tomorrow night. And most Japanese pitchers have an unusual windup.
Just off the plate. Kind of Hideo Nomo-ish.
Yeah, brings his hand straight over the top again, trying to get to that balance point. And then explode toward home plate.
And he gets Kubel. One away in the 8th. Wednesday nights are all about the hot dogs again this year. You can come out tomorrow night for Hormel Dollar a Dog Night presented by Country Heart. Hormel dogs for $1 a piece while supplies last. Limit 2 per customer. Get your tickets for the Twins and Boston Red Sox. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. 48 hours from now, the Red Sox will leave Minnesota for the last time, never to return to the Metrodome. This is their only visit here this year. And at least during the regular season, the Twins and Red Sox will be done by mid-afternoon on Thursday. 1-0 to Harris. Breaking ball over. Oh, what a wicked breaking pitch. And Harris on a check swing. Finds himself behind 1 and 2.
Yeah, 3 years for the Dodgers. He saved 81 ball games. 2 years ago, 39 saves for the Dodgers. A 1.4 ERA in 63 relief appearances.
Bumped him in the back. Second batter to be hit by a Boston pitcher in this game. The Twins were nailed twice in the series finale against the Brewers. Home Depot doing more on defense, and Delman Young victimized twice.
Yeah, Jacoby Ellsbury, a great catch. That coming in the 5th inning. And then in the 6th inning, this time Ellsbury stays on his feet right against the wall to make the catch.
Strike on the outside corner. Harris at first with one away. And now 1-1. Very back to the mound.
Yeah, I mentioned Saito, 39 years old. He pitched 14 seasons in Japan. He's kind of a closer and a starter. 87 wins in Japan in 339 games.
Joe Nathan warming up. It'd be a safe situation for him if the Twins don't score here. Joe hasn't exactly been overworked. He might get the 9th inning even if the Twins scored 3 or 4 runs here. 1-1. Now 1-2. Baltimore beat Toronto, and the Blue Jays continue their free fall out of the American League East standings.
What's that, 8 in a row now they've lost?
Yep. Suddenly can't score any runs, or not enough. Time called, and Young swung at it anyway.
Delman did the right thing. He asked for time, but you got to make sure that that umpire gives you time.
Perplexed Terry Francona.
Wasn't that earlier this year? Brendan Harris wanted time, and he didn't get it, and he kind of stepped out of the box, and the pitch was thrown and thrown in for a strike.
Thankfully, Harris wasn't even looking toward the mound. And there is strike 3. Out number 2. It'll ring up Matt Tolbert.
Saito picks up his 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Second baseman Matt Tolbert.
Tolbert 1 for 3. It was an infield hit, but it sure was a big one. Chopped it off the plate, beat it out, and that opened the door wider for the Twins to put 5 runs up on the board. Biggest swing, of course, the 3-run home run by Morneau. One strike. Oh, 0-1 to Matt Tolbert. One and 1. Red Sox leading the Yankees by a game beginning play today. They're in the bottom of the 1st inning in Texas, according to the scoreboard here. And they must have some weather issues now.
Yeah, they had a delay there.
Two and 1. Three and 1 with Punto on deck. Well, not having seen Saito in person, doesn't strike me as being the quickest worker out there. He's thrown 16 pitches, and it seems like 26.
Got to look fastball right here and drive it hard somewhere.
Strike on the outside corner that fills the count. Harris will take off from first base.
Yeah, not a bad take right there. If it's not the pitch that you want, go to 3-2. Now you have Harris taken off. Extra base hit. Might score Harris.
Three and two to Tolbert. There goes Harris, and the pitch fouled away. Mentioned that Nick Blackburn had just one 1-2-3 inning. Well, the Twins have only gone down in order once here tonight. Right back in the fourth inning. And another 3-2 coming to Tolbert. That's down the left field line and over by Joe Nathan. The big inning so far. The 5-run bottom of the fifth started by the bottom of the Twins lineup. Harris is single, Tolbert single, Punto single. Good to see the bottom guys contribute to a big inning. Harris goes again, and Tolbert swings through it to end the inning. It's a save situation for Joe Nathan. He'll come into the ballgame with the Twins up 5-2.
TNT, your world delivered.
Cheap game reset, 3 runs. The lead for the Twins, and 3 runs driven in by Justin Morneau.
Yeah, the Boston Red Sox took an early 1-0 lead in the top of the 5th, and then Twins had that 5-run bottom of the 5th, highlighted by the Morneau 3-run home run. Joe Nathan out there looking for save number 7 on the year. One thing the Twins would like to get is more opportunities for Joe to pick up some saves. 6 saves and 8 save opportunities. The Twins have the fewest amount of saves in the American League.
Great stop by Morneau. Nathan covers, one away. So he's hit a 3-run home run, and he might have just taken an extra base hit away from Varitek.
Oh, Varitek getting a fastball and hitting it sharply down that first baseline. Justin diving for it. And a little pitcher's fielding practice. Nathan getting over there and getting the out. 3-1 put out.
And now Jeff Bailey. Inside, ball one. Bailey with a couple of ground balls and a strikeout. Denard Span moving over to left field. Carlos Gomez in center, and Delman Young out of the game. Popped up, and now Morneau into foul ground, tracking this very tall pop up. Out number 2. So a couple of quick outs for Nathan here in the ninth.
Well, Joe's last save coming here at the Metrodome on the 14th of May when the Twins beat the Detroit Tigers 6-5. Just over 20,000 here starting to get on their feet.
Julio Lugo, last hope for the Red Sox. 1 strike. And Nathan would love to do that. Getting Lugo out by any means would be just fine. Right up the middle, a rocket, and Lugo has his second hit. So a fastball that ended up whistling right back by Nathan. And that'll bring up Ellsbury.
Center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury's reached 3 times, once on a fielder's choice. He's got a couple of hits. And Pedroia, the on-deck hitter, would represent the tying run. Strike 1. Ellsbury's faced Nathan once and gotten a single. Mid-90s fastball wide of the plate. And now 1-2. A little over 20,000 that paid attendance here tonight, hoping the Twins can get back in the left-hand column. After sweeping the Tigers, a first-place ball club, then the Brewers, a first-place ball club, taking on another first-place ball club in the Red Sox. 1-2 to Jacoby Ellsbury. A drive to deep right center field. Gomez chasing it. Game over. And the Twins beat the Red Sox 5-2. The Twins even the series at a game apiece. Quest Twins Live is next, and we'll hear from